Hey everybody, welcome back to another installment of the Hang podcast. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm a little, not gonna lie, I'm a little sad. I have some sad news because it is now it's been about 3 days since we last saw our last football game. And I know it's gonna come back, but if you have a friend that is like me that loves football as much as I do, please check in on them frequently from now till the middle of August, because they might be going through some shit like I. No, of course I'm joking. I'm not joking about football. Like, I really am gonna miss it. But there's Canadian Football League. There's the draft. You can just go with your friends outside and throw the football around, so it's never gonna go away. And if you guys don't like football, then I don't like you back, all right? I'm joking, not really. But yes, this is another installment of the Hang. You know that I don't like to talk on and on anymore, because I like to get straight to the episode, and this is definitely a good one. Another reason, I always say this, but it's because it's true. They're kind of less frequent episodes wise, because we got a lot going on at JXD Entertainment. We're gonna have some stuff coming your way in the next month or so stay tuned for that. Remember, jxdentertainment.com or JXD Entertainment on YouTube to check out all the stuff that we got going on, like this podcast. This is JXD Entertainment production. And you're gonna see, just go on the YouTube and you see all the different types of productions we have going on. But yeah, let's just get straight to the episode now. This is the episode I had with Mr. K, aka Konstantinos Stouraitis. I think I'm not very good with pronouncing my Greek, but yeah, the homie is in Greece now because that is where he is from, and it was about time that I got him on. This is our first Zoom based episode. So weird. This is, it's not that it's weird, but I just I am an in-person kind of person, because it's just more real. It's just more realer. But luckily, thanks to Zoom, I'm able to talk to a friend across on the other side of the world. And we're going to have more of these types of episodes coming your way. I'm trying to think of something else other than to just get straight to the episode. I hope you like it. And you're about to hear a little song that we did back in the day, as in like a couple years ago while he was still here. And yeah, we're actually working on more things now, thanks to technology and being able to share stuff over the internet. So enjoy this little clip from us, and I'll talk to you at the... Oh, by the way, stay tuned to the end of the episode, because I'm still doing that giveaway if you don't know what that is. I know you know what a giveaway is, but more details on that coming at the end. Oh yeah, by the way, little Easter egg for you guys. There is a point in the episode that we're talking about the blues and how basically every music comes from the blues, like literally every single, at least American wise. And if you notice, my hat, I have it turned backwards, but if I had it forwards, any hockey fans out there, I am wearing a St. Louis Blues hat. So
yes, sir.
That's just a funny coincidence that I wanted to throw out there. Yeah, see if you can catch on to that. Alright, enjoy the episode.
My name is Kate. I show you the way to creation, salvation without pain, just joy and gain. I got plenty reasons to stay in the game called life in New York. I keep walking in the rain, it's okay. From Brooklyn to Queens on the highway, Horace Harding, Jackie Robinson Parkaway. A sober day has come, indeed, without a scene. Along with he who helps me sing, he no other than the David Vee, my main man from QC. It's all one to me, Queens, BK, NYC. You see, I miss the notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls. If you're looking for me, you'll find me in Smalls, West 10th and 7th AVE. Come in. What up, V?
Yo. Hello, Mr. K. You know we don't play. You messing when you get shot with the AK. Just playing. I don't want the violence, but King David is royal like Violet. Shout out to Snoop, but I am the lion. I'm so so dope, you get stronger like violence. Got you standing on corners by hydrants. Run the whole city like I am a tyrant. From this music, I'm never retiring. Had to switch it up like I don't give a fuck what a hater gotta say about the way I'm trying to get up. I'm just trying to keep my love and me together. I'm a heavyweight, you lighter than a feather. You get no wins while I am a weather. My verse is better, my vibe get a wetter. You beg for my girl, me never. Back to my man, Mr. Tinos. You know he plays Dinos. I got you so grooving, yeah, they get you moving. So sit back and relax or stand the fuck up. As long as you don't get too fucked up. Yeah, don't get it twisted. I hit it, but you missed it. Told you I was dope, my high get a lift. And my fire, she lights it, so please don't fight it. I'm not chasing birds, do I look like a pirate? I only get down for you, gotta buy him. You treat her well while she told me you lying.
Okay, there's the record button. Now we officially started. So once again, welcome everybody to The Hang. This is my personal first time doing this. If you guys have been keeping up with me and the podcast, we finally have our first official, I guess, Zoom call guest for not virtual, remote guest, all the way from the other side of the world. Yes, literally all the way from Greece. This is the one and only Mr. K. How you doing? How you doing, Mr. K?
Yeah. I'm doing well, man. It's great to see you, man.
Yeah, it's finally good to see you. For those of you who don't know, the song you just heard was something that we both came up with before you left for Greece.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we worked on a whole project which is out now. The link is on the info. Definitely go check the whole project out because I know I was there for
sure.
a good amount. Yeah, and I know all the good hard work that I got put into it, man.
Oh yeah. Man. I mean, you were the first and the most important sound engineer for this project.
Oh, thank you.
A great feature, man. I love the track we did together.
Yeah, I personally have to get back into like writing some more because I remember when I was with you. By the way, in case you haven't caught on yet, listeners, Mr. K, also known as Konstantinos, he is a musician. He is a songwriter, and it's just, you could basically put him under every label that you give to a music maker. Producer. Probably end up engineering one day.
Right.
But
right. It's funny because most of the people, especially here in Greece and in New York City, they know me as a jazz guitarist because that's what I've been doing for the most of my life. I play, like Wes Montgomery and Kenny Burrell and all the American songbook tunes and all this very warm jazz guitar sound. And I like the 50s and the 60s and bebop and swing and all that stuff. But once we put this project together, it was a very good test for myself because no one actually knew that I do this stuff, that I write, that I got bars, I write rhymes, and I like the soul and the hip hop stuff, and that I did my beats and write arrangements for horns and go for the electric sound, basically, which is what we've been doing together mostly, right?
Right. Yeah, I remember. I mean, at least from what I got from it, you basically started out like, I guess when you wrote everything and you started laying things out, it was thanks to technology, you're able to like make what was it called, the rough draft of all your songs with
Right.
like programmed drums and synthesized bass. And then I remember you got in the studio and basically not replace it, but also added on,
Right.
So that's why I call you producer now, because basically that's what
right. I mean, I guess I'm a producer by now because after 2 lockdowns, I put myself in the process of learning all the stuff that you've been doing that I was not really, familiar with. So I've spent the past 2 years in Cubase, man, trying to learn my shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And I do my own mixes, and I'm starting to get into mastering tracks, and I'm getting faster. So I did some more stuff this year.
Nice, nice.
It's a learning process. You know how it is.
Yeah, well, you had time to learn a bunch of things this past couple of years, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So was it just I don't like to talk about it too much, but I'm just curious, like, were you very much like locked down this whole time, or was it like a little freedom over in Greece?
No, I mean, it. People get stressed in all sorts of situations. So
Right.
I don't feel like I was affected too much. I mean, for sure, there was a certain period of time that there was no gigs, so all I could do was practice and teach online and record. I mean, I literally recorded 9 albums this year.
Okay, that's awesome. That's amazing.
It's a lot of music.
Yeah, yeah.
I kept myself busy, which is what is great about doing music wherever you are. Um, of course, people missed live music, I guess.
Oh, hell yeah, definitely.
We're back to playing shows now. I just came back from a small tour, and now I have a few more shows. We're back at the game, but I never missed music being in lockdown. I mean, it was something like 2 months or something.
All right, yeah. Well,
You
that's the
know,
good thing about well, first of all, you can play multiple things. So you're never get bored
right,
with
right,
one instrument. Which is
right.
great. But you would say
Yeah,
that guitar is your main thing, I guess, right?
guitar is my main thing, and I also do gigs on bass. I play both upright bass. I play jazz gigs,
Hmm.
like my double bass. And actually, after we put this project out, I started getting calls as an electric bassist as well. I did a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
session work. I played pop and rock gigs and stuff that I didn't do back in the day, when I was in New York. Nobody knew I played bass, like electric. And it's good. I mean, there's a lot out there, a lot of stuff I'm interested.
Yeah.
The music we love. It never ends. And I'm actually learning the trumpet right now, which is a really hard thing to do, man.
I figured. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's funny because I feel like the first time I saw you play anything, it was actually the drums.
Really? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Right.
I
In
think so.
QC, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Queens College, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I kind of failed to mention we both met at Queens College.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is like honestly, I don't like to give them all the credit, but thanks to Queens College, I've met a lot of good musicians there, and that's
Yeah,
cool.
for
That's
sure.
cool that Aaron Copeland. It's like it's not that big known around like the city, I think. Because growing up, I didn't know about it. I mean, Queens College itself is so like far away from the rest of New York City,
Right.
And then when I went there and I just like you just walk down the halls and there's just a lot of talent in every room, you know.
Right.
So I
Right.
think sometimes you just get lucky and you walk by and you become part of a project, and then next thing we work on a whole album together,
Oh
basically.
yeah. I'm actually about to release the second album we did, the one that you recorded, the
Yeah, yeah,
trio
right,
trio
correct. I
album.
do remember that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we did a lot of music when we were there.
Yeah, for sure. And I still have
Good stuff.
I remember like literally before you left when we did like what was it like almost 16 hours of
Oh yeah.
just straight guitar recordings.
Yeah, yeah. Before getting to the airport, man, it was intense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you drove me to, what was it? To Newark.
Yeah, correct.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, good times.
Yeah. Man, I mean, from the very first moment we started this Zoom meeting, before we started recording, I started smiling, man, because of the remembering of the good times we had, man.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
good.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I hope that time could come back, because it used to be definitely a different world too.
right.
But now,
I
yeah.
mean, I literally have no idea what New York is like right now, if it changed with the pandemic and all that. I have no idea.
Right. Well, from what I see, I think somebody like you will notice because you've been away and like you'll see like to you it'll be obvious maybe because it
Right.
used to be like well, you know what it's like and it's still like that. But like
Sure.
you said, because of the pandemic, things change, like certain businesses change, like
Yeah.
the way you go about in the subway and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that like that kind of change you will notice.
Yeah.
But how is it Greece though? I mean, I feel like you always try to convince me to go just because it's such like a
Yeah.
great country. Really.
Right. It's a fun place, man. We should have you over in the summer or something and go swim and everything. And it's really good. But you know, if you watch the news, you're gonna get hysterical about everything.
Right.
So I don't watch the news. I just make my music. Stay safe and healthy, and then it's all good.
Yeah, that's the way to
And
go because you're
I
right that
guess
the news is only going to tell you the bad news.
for sure.
They're
Yeah.
never going to say, oh, this you know this great town just like the oldest person is 120. Like they're never going to tell you
Right.
those news, the good stuff.
Right. Man, I was on the boat earlier today because I was coming back from an island,
Oh,
and
nice. Okay.
I was sitting next to the TV. I don't actually have a TV in my apartment. I don't. I mean, I do have it for Cubase and stuff, but I don't watch it, the
Yeah,
news and
which
stuff.
is good to me.
Right. And man, the only break they took from COVID cases and all that bullshit, was death from an electric blanket. I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
man, what the
Okay.
fuck am I doing here? I don't want to know this. I'm
Yeah,
good. I mean, on my way down, I was mixing a track in my headphones, and it was also, magical. I was in my Cubase interface, didn't know anything about all this, and now all I got on my way back was COVID and the electric blanket. Man,
yeah.
I don't want to know about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm pretty sure you tell me if I'm right, but like as somebody that creates, somebody that tries to write, I don't know how often you try to write. I feel like almost every day. But don't you feel like you have to keep your mind nice and clear and positive in
Of
order to
course,
yeah, exactly.
for sure. To be honest, I haven't been writing that many lyrics as I did when we were hanging out and we were doing this album.
Right.
So I mean, you know the album, so it was pretty much, my life.
Yeah, exactly.
My name is K, and all that. I'll show you the way. What up, V? And then you come
Right.
in, and everything. So, I mean, but I'm still writing music, a lot of music. But I want to go back to the lyric process, man. It's a beautiful process in putting together, stories, and it's basically our life. It's what we do, and we just put it, over a beat.
Yeah, exactly.
We add
Right.
rhythm to it and maybe notes if it's something we sing or it's something like a rhyme or whatever. I mean, it's a beautiful process to me.
Yeah, for sure. Even just with the instrument, you can
Right.
still tell your story,
Oh yeah,
which
for
is good.
sure.
But
Definitely.
I assume, I mean, you practice all the time, so in a way, you're probably like in your mind or in your subconscious mind, you're writing. And
Right.
like a year from now, you will like physically put it down because it was like I kind of written down in your mind in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, at the moment, I basically every day I wake up, there's something else I need to do. I have to prepare myself for a gig, or I don't know, put my teaching material together, or so tomorrow I play guitar. The day after tomorrow I play bass. I have to stay, focused, and I need to have my chops together. And every day there's a different band probably and a different repertoire. It's a lot of work, you know how it is to be a musician, a working musician. It's not like I have my band and I constantly tour with it and
All right.
it's the same 50 or 20 or whatever, the same songs over and over. Every day there's something else, which is beautiful, of course. And I stay sharp, my mind constantly works in a good way, with music. But when there's more time, I want to put my energy into putting down in the next album, whatever it is. I don't know.
All
I
right.
don't know if it's going to be hip hop or more jazzy or whatever. But you
Well,
know,
that is a good thing that you're like constantly changing, I guess, your mindset and like the type of music and the type of people you're working with, because it's like that's what's letting you grow, as a
right,
musician, as a writer. And then whenever it is that you decide to go back to it, I feel like the ideas will just come out, you know, and they'll be so different that you have so much to work with.
right,
Yeah. So
right.
I just kind of want to know, just I mean, I personally don't know many people from Greece. Just from like what you show on the social media, uh, it looks like Greece, or at least where you live, you go from island to island. Is that just about right? Is that kind of how everything is spread out?
Um, well, mostly we live in Athens. I live in Athens, and
Oh,
most of the
okay.
gigs are around here in the capital. Yeah,
Oh, gotcha,
Athens.
gotcha.
I think I'm like 15 minutes walk from the Acropolis. Like I'm super
Oh,
downtown.
nice. Okay.
And most of the clubs are around here actually. But I just happened to have a place by the sea in an island called Syros,
Mm-hmm.
and we actually we did a video there. You remember Belly Button?
Right. Yeah, I
We
do.
shot it in the island.
Oh, got it.
Athens definitely doesn't look like this. It's a nice place. The sea is beautiful and everything.
Yeah.
But it's easy to get to these places. Like today I took a boat for 4 hours from this island back to the port of Athens.
Oh, okay.
But for instance, the island I was born in, Rhodes, is like 16 hours away. It's not
Oh,
that
wow.
easy.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you can travel. I mean, you can fly there in 45 minutes also, but if you took the boat, it can take time.
Yeah, I
And
feel like taking boat rides, it's kind of like I mean, you tell me because I don't do it all the time, but I feel like it's like your downtime, and then since you're traveling through the water, it's like it kind of brings a peacefulness.
yeah,
And
it's beautiful, man. I like it. It
nice,
takes
nice.
time, but the breeze and the smell of the sea is so great. It's a nice process for me.
Yeah,
And even
exactly.
when there's no boat and we drive, I mean, there's this place called Patra, which is in the western side of Greece, and it's like 3 hours drive. We can literally go play the gig and drive back the same night because usually
Okay.
they don't want to pay for the hotel. You know how it is.
Right, right,
You know.
right. But hey, I mean, somebody that does a lot of driving, I always appreciate like just a long drive, because it's like you said, even if it's not next to the water, you're still enjoying like all the
Right.
scenery. I'm pretty sure Greece is full of scenery. It's just everywhere, right? I feel like
It's
it.
beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty green and the sea is beautiful. I mean, it's mostly a good place. I
Yeah,
mean,
of
of
course.
course, corrupted politicians and bullshit, this you get everywhere. I mean, what about the US? Okay, you know how it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
yes.
guess they just had it better in a
Yeah.
way.
Maybe, yeah, better. It depends how you look at it. All right.
Yeah,
Right, but I mean, plus it's like you're the Mediterranean Sea. It's special. So I
oh
feel like
yeah,
wherever you go, it's gonna be nice, right?
right. I mean, I've been to Italy many times. It's beautiful. Spain is great, and it kind of looks like Greece also. It's just maybe I like the people more. It looks like
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny you say that because these like like the ancestry.com thing, like when you find out all your
yeah,
roots. So my
right.
my sister did that, and it's mostly like native Mexican, which is like Aztec that we got, but also the second most was like it was Spain, but it was also all the countries around the Mediterranean. So it was a bunch of Italian, a bunch of
Oh
Turkey,
wow,
a bunch of Greek, and it's like,
right.
oh, that makes a lot of sense because
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's just like very you yourself said you've been to Italy, you've been to Spain, and I feel like it's easily to just travel between like the whole sea, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, I guess in a way, Italy is a little bit more Western,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Turkey is a little bit more Eastern, but Greece is right in the middle, and it's kind of a mixture.
Right, right.
There's a lot of influences here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of I guess that kind of influence here, like what you just mentioned,
Right.
because like everybody from all over the world comes to New York City.
I mean, New York is the best mixer, man. It's very broad. I mean,
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
get exposed to anything, basically.
Right. I mean, thanks to like radio and TV, like you were exposed to like older types of music. But I feel like
Right.
once you came, I mean, you tell me, once you came to New York, was it like an even bigger exposure?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, um, watching to the thing just in front of your face and listening to the notes come out of the bell of the horn or out of the actual drums or the piano or whatever. Being in the room, it's such a magical process, man. There's nothing like it. I mean, we can record everything and travel around the world, but being there is priceless, man.
Yeah, I definitely agree
And
with you.
yeah, and I remember, for instance, you know, I was a lot out at Smalls, late
Right.
night
Right.
jamming with all the acclaimed musicians and everything. And then Roy Hargrove used to come by.
Oh
Maybe
wow,
probably
nice.
the most acclaimed artist that would still come out and play with young musicians, even though
Yeah,
he was
that's beautiful.
famous and wealthy and everything. He would come out and play with the young cats and try to show how it's done and everything. And then after I think right before I moved out from New York City, he passed, and you get to realize that this is not gonna stay forever. Like, of course,
Right.
young musicians are gonna keep on doing it, but just thinking that it used to be like this with Coltrane.
Right.
What if I was, I don't know, 30 or 40 years younger, and I got to listen to John Coltrane in the room?
Oh,
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, instead of the recording, it's crazy, man. It gave me a lot of food for thought. This type of thing, like how would it be like, like, and people that the our peers got to see, like Cedar Walton. Cedar Walton, I don't know, he passed like 20 years ago or something.
Right.
Or the people who, like Dizzy, he passed in the 90s, Dizzy Gillespie. He played with Bird. And then you realize that it's a flame that it keeps burning. Like Roy Haynes is still, I don't know, he's like 93 or 94 years
Oh,
old.
wow. Okay. Yeah.
He was in a gig with Bird and Bud Powell and Charles Mingus, and you're like, oh wow, he's the last one to,
Yeah. Yeah. To still be around. Right.
man. I mean, being around these people is like this is a sacred food to me. You know, it's like
Right.
there's nothing like it.
Yeah, that's true.
So you know, same with hip hop, with any type of music, man.
Yeah, with
Like
any.
if you know, if you want to learn to play traditional Greek music, you need to
Oh,
travel
right.
over here
Yeah, yeah.
and go to the right club. You know, I mean, you definitely need to visit New York if you want to play jazz. You know, that's what I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's one thing that like this past year. I mean, luckily it looks like you're able to make it work. Actually
yeah.
still playing with people in person, but this whole like virtual thing. Even now, like I wish we could do this in person.
Oh yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
obviously you're on the other side of the world, so it's a little harder, but
It's hard.
these kind of things, like you said, like when you're in the same room, it's like I like how you use the idea of a flame, you
Yeah,
know, and then because also that way, let's say when you did used to jam with Roy Hargrove, he kind of had the flame that was passed down to him from the past, and then I guess him going to play with the younger guys, that's kind of his way of passing the flame down so it could keep going and it can never, although
definitely.
Smalls, I don't know, is Smalls still there? I don't think so, right?
It is. It
Oh,
is.
it is. Okay,
It's one
okay.
of the few clubs that's still there, man. Most of
Awesome.
them are gone.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. But that's the great thing about places like Smalls, you can just walk in and no matter what night, you don't know who can be there, but whoever is
Right.
there, you're still gonna and you tell me, because I mean I'm not a musician that goes to clubs and plays, but you tell me if this is correct. Like when you first came to New York, it was probably a little scary just going to the clubs and having the boss play, with anybody.
Man,
Uh,
totally. Totally, man. It was scary like shit, man. Of course. But then, you know, there's the community is not that big. People see you, they recognize you. I mean, no matter if you're good or not good in playing music, if they see that you love it, I think they let you in eventually, you know.
oh,
Like,
okay.
okay, this guy's, you know, constantly here. Okay, if you want to do it, they're gonna let you in, you know. And I don't know. I did the best I could, you know. I was there. I mean, you know how it is going to school, man, going to college.
Hmm.
It's a lot of work. Doing the master's degree, man, that was a
Oh
pain in
yeah.
the ass,
Right,
you
right.
know. But still, I would stay up all night and play with Roy and all the other guys, and the young cat that plays so beautifully. And then I would get 2 or 3 hours of sleep and go to Queen's College, man.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is how you do it, I guess.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
you know, seeing the people you listen to in the records was a huge thing for me. And just hang out and see how relaxed they are, they're loose. You know, I saw many musicians while they were on tour in Europe. Like I went, not only Greece, I took several trips. But when they tour, you know, they're like they're uh, they're working. I mean, they need
yeah,
to get
sure.
their rest, and you know, there's a schedule they need to to follow and everything. But being in New York, you see a totally different aspect because they want to chill. They just play the gig and then they can walk home and they don't give a shit. And
Right.
then is when you get the full picture of hanging out with Peter Bernstein. I mean, Peter Bernstein is one of my favorite guitar players, and I've been following for the past 10 years already. And it's invaluable to be in New York City, man. It's
Yeah, that's
crazy, man.
true. That's true. Because no offense to school, but and I know all you all the friends that I made that they were jazz masters or masters in jazz, trying to get that degree.
Right.
I think the ones that I still see that are out there and actually, like you said, paid and working musicians, they did exactly that. They would go to school, they would try. try hard, but they try even harder out in the real world. You know,
Right.
they were out like whatever gig it was, whatever time, whatever fishy burrow you had to go to.
Right.
You
For
know,
sure.
yeah, they still went even even if it was at 2 a.m. in the Bronx
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because like you said, people see that you actually love the craft, the art, and then they'll accept you even if you have
Yeah.
some improvement to do.
Yeah. But man, yeah, this rings a bell here. I remember we played with David Di Trapani, yeah, the trumpet player.
Oh right,
David.
yeah,
We
yeah.
did a few tracks together. I remember we played a Indian restaurant, like 3 sets,
Okay.
and it was somewhere I don't know, probably the Bronx or something, or
Yeah.
Harlem. I'm not sure. And it paid $33, man, plus tips
Okay.
and a meal. And we would still do it, you know.
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
gig is better than no gig, man.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Especially now, like for me personally, after last year, it was like I
Yeah.
just want to do it all again, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, I remember we were the last people to leave Queen's College. The guard wanted to kick us out.
Oh yeah,
We never stopped.
I definitely remember that. Like when I was recording, we were both recording the verse for the intro to Mr. K.
Right.
Yeah, and I remember like you had done your take, and then I think this was like the first time you might have helped record on Pro Tools.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you taught me. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember like the very last bar, like that I finished. I'm like, okay, that was the take. And then the security guard comes in right when I say that. And then it's like, oh, magic, perfect. That's how you
Right.
know.
Great time, man. It was super great. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of, even though once again it was school, and we still have a lot more to do. I feel like plenty got done there. You know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you basically started the whole recording process of your album there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
Of course. And I think it started. I mean, how did we meet? Probably in Sharon's class. Remember the vocal ensemble?
Right, yeah, I remember I used to record
You were
those.
recording the girl singing, and I was in the rhythm section.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
think
how I
that
know.
wasn't this our first session or not?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I used to
Yeah.
get hired to, because it was like the final, right? Like the final project
Right.
for the
Right.
vocal ensemble, and then I think that like that's what I was talking about. That I first saw you play drums, so I
yeah.
just assumed you were a drum player.
Okay. And then I grabbed the bass or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we did a couple sessions more, and then I guess you figured out, oh, this guy knows what he's doing.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's all fun though. I remember like I always remember like all the big projects, especially like this one. And then just like any project, there's ups and downs. You know, I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember. I don't know how much of the
I
details you
remember.
remember.
I do remember a lot of the details, man. I remember there was crying involved there, man. If you remember that.
Yeah. It's at some point, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of everything involved. I remember the first time, like, I mean, I was so new to like the whole jazz game that like when we worked with Mike Clark, luckily I think it's good that I didn't know about him too much, because I treated him like a normal person.
Yeah. Like any drummer.
Yeah, I treated him like, you're a musician and you're recording and we're working together, and I just want you to get a good sound. I wasn't thinking, oh man, this guy's actually amazing. I feel like if I thought that, maybe I would get nervous and make a mistake or something. Or yeah, I don't know. Did you ever feel like that with anybody?
Forever, man. All my life. Totally. I just pretend to remain calm and play the music, but yeah, I totally shit my pants, man. Being around these people, it's heavy.
Yeah.
If you think that this guy was hired by Herbie Hancock, I mean,
oh right, exactly.
He did all that stuff, and then he's one of the most sampled drummers in hip hop, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because after that, I went back and looked at all, like, try to look at his work, and it's like, wow, this guy I didn't know about it, but I was listening to him for a lot of years
Right.
already.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then once we did the track, I brought the files back to Greece, and this Nigerian born in Greece friend of mine, great MC Yinka,
Right.
this
Yeah.
rapper, he did a freestyle over the whole track, and he put in his lyrics so much info about Mike's work that it was very impressive to me. He talked about, you know, the Headhunters and Herbie and all these tunes like Palm Grease and God Made Me Funky and all that stuff. It was beautiful, man. And I was actually listening to the mix in the car like 3 days ago. I don't
Oh,
listen to the album like every day, you know, but I was sharing with some friends. And
okay.
the idea of me interviewing Mike in the introduction of the tune, I still find it, you know, I was listening to it and I was like, yeah, the mix sounds so good, very boomy, and you know, the bass was so good. You
Right.
remember recording his speech in the room?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely do remember the whole
Man,
process. Yeah.
it's some good shit, man. I was like, "How you doing, Mr. Clark?" You know,
Right.
I was trying to act cool and everything. He was like, "Good, good."
Yeah. Yeah.
You
But
know?
hey, what you call it? Uh, I was trying to. I'm trying to remember that at the time, I was actually pretty impressed. Like, I mean, I didn't know where you were gonna take it, but I was like, this is the first time I've seen things like this. You know, like not
Right,
every modern artist that does these little things, like to intro a track or like little skit between tracks, or, you know, little things like that. That I think, you know, artists nowadays, at least from what I see, they just play the song, you know, and then next
right,
song, and then like 10 songs in a row. But you're, like you said, you're able to bring like like a little history lesson, basically, thanks to
right.
that interview and thanks to the freestyle. You
Oh
can
yeah,
let people know uh basically like who this guy is and why he is the one of the main features on the album, right?
totally. Yeah. I mean, I guess I would say it's a jazz concept, you know, because when musicians solo
Right.
and they blow over chord changes and everything, sometime from, I mean, they're gonna play the shit and everything, and then from time to time they're gonna play a little melody that you recognize, and this could be like anything from a Broadway show or like the Flintstones
Right.
tune or whatever. But people often quote other musicians. So you know, when you listen to I don't know, um, Charlie Parker play a melody, and then you hear this little melody that was a Broadway show
Oh, right.
or whatever. And so I guess I wanted to do it in this way. Do the lyric like, okay, my lyric is gonna make you go back to the Headhunters album and check out what they did in the 70s. Or if you don't know who Paul Jackson is, you go listen to that bass right now. I
Oh,
think I was
right.
trying to do that.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, these are the type of things that here at the hang we try to tell those, you know, those who are not always in the process of creating something, whether it's music or it's just art. It's like, because I like to think that people are curious to know like what goes on through your head while you're making these things, you know. And it's like, where does
right,
the influence come from? Where do the ideas come from?
right. I mean, probably nobody cares, but it was pretty big to me
Yeah.
to mention like Horace Harding Highway and Jackie Robinson Parkway in the tune, you know, because we've seen this, we've been driving in these streets for such a long time,
Yeah, yeah. I still drive them
and
every
then
day.
right, right. I mean, I'm pretty sure no one in Greece knows them, but I do.
Right.
I mean, it's important to me. it was my life for a certain period of time, you know, or Smalls, or Seventh Avenue and Biggie Smalls,
Right. Yeah,
and
exactly.
whatever, you know. I find it very beautiful to just. It's basically putting down a moment. It's a moment.
Right,
I
right.
mean, of course. I mean, now what is it? Is it 3 years or 4 years already?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm pretty
almost.
sure I could play with my instruments better and sing and more in tune, and maybe bring my English to a better level, and maybe mix better or master. Everything could be better,
Right.
but it's still a moment. This is what I try to think about it, because we want to get better, right? I
Of
I
course.
I, I listen to it now, and I feel like, I don't feel like it sounds like shit, but I'd like to make it sound better always.
Yeah, of course. I think
No.
that's always gonna it's always gonna be in your head. And you're always gonna be
Right,
thinking of that as like as an artist, like how can this be
right,
better? Even if it's already good, you're still gonna think that, right?
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mike Clark introduction, man, I was listening to it and I was like, yeah, I like it, you know,
Yeah,
with
and
the
the
bass and everything.
yeah, the
Yeah,
beautiful thing I think about the whole project is that like going back to what you said, like you'll mention Jackie Robinson Parkway to somebody in Greece, and they don't know, but maybe they start to, they're curious, and they
right.
start maybe looking up what
Where's
that.
that?
Yeah, where is that stuff? Same thing. I think I forget the name of the song, but later in the project you mentioned a couple islands in Greece.
Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the same thing,
Yeah,
for
same
somebody.
thing.
Yeah, so for somebody like me, like, oh, I wonder. You start to make the I guess the mental picture of like the story that you're trying to tell, and you're like,
Right.
oh, he's traveling from here to here, and it's like just all these, I guess, yeah. Once again, the moment that you're talking about, it
Right.
becomes reality in our imagination.
Right.
Yeah, so good job.
Yeah, thanks, man. But yeah, still, I mean, I've never visited LA, so
All
all
right,
the stuff
okay.
I hear in the albums, um, you know, I'd like to know what South Central LA looks like, or what is
Right.
Compton City. Although I would never go there, man. I know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could maybe
But
with a friend, it'll be a little
yeah,
hard to
right,
go by yourself. Where it's like,
right,
hi.
exactly. Yeah, but still, I mean, this is kind of, I guess, I look at it like, the Acropolis or the Statue of
Oh,
Liberty,
right. Yeah, yeah.
because it's important to me. Like if you take me to Electric Lady Studios,
Right.
which I've never been to, it's going to be, magical, because it's not just the studio, it's what happened there,
Yeah, yeah,
how
exactly.
the music that was recorded there. So yeah, in a way, I hope that I motivate people to feel the same way I feel. I mean, when I watch a movie and they talk about a state or a city or whatever, I like to look it up, and I want to know where Ohio is, or you know, or Chicago and Wisconsin. I want to know where it is.
Right.
So my girlfriend makes fun of me, man, because I go on Google Maps and it's like I'm traveling.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah. That's
I
next
go
best thing.
virtual vacation.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, but that's literally like I said when you talked about all those places in Greece in your song. That's literally what I did, because it's
Right.
like you said, you just want to know what it's like there, and even if it's only cows and grass,
Yeah. Right.
at least you got to experience, and now you know.
Right.
Yeah. But
For
I
sure.
actually, yeah, you reminded me of this past summer. I did go on a California trip of the whole thing, and I didn't see the whole thing actually because it's so big, the
Mm.
state. Uh, but yeah, it's like even doing that stuff, I feel like brings up your creativity, even though you're not
For sure.
learning musically, like any new notes, any new chords.
Oh
It,
yeah.
it's like it's like you go experience a new place, and you go do new things, and then I don't know, somehow in your mind, in your musician mind, or whatever you want to call it, it ends up translating to that somehow,
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then, the ideas just come out. And I mean, I don't know, you tell me, because you live clearly a lot, you're a lot around water. But does
Yeah.
water tend to help you for some reason as far as like your imagination? Because I heard that before.
I never thought about it, but could be, yeah. Because I mean, I was born in an island. I'm not in an island right now, but
Mhm.
I've spent most of my life in an island. Like also my where I did my undergrad. It's another island,
Oh, okay.
Corfu, in the northwest of Greece.
Oh, okay.
So I've been surrounded by water for most of my life.
All right.
I know it smells good to me, and I enjoy the breeze. So yeah, it feels good, but I never tried to explain what's happening. It's just I'm not a person who grew up in the mountains.
Right, right.
It's also I find a great beauty to it because last week I went to play somewhere in western Greece, and man, it was so new to me to go to the mountains and see the trees, and there was like springs and stuff, and I drank the water.
Oh, wow, okay.
This is something new to me, so it was also very fresh, because I've seen so many islands. I like to go kayaking and everything.
Yeah.
I'm in the water almost. I mean, last year with the second lockdown, I went to the island in Sirius,
Uh-huh.
and I kept on swimming until March.
Oh, okay.
So I did swim during December,
Yeah.
January, and February. It was cold, but it was nice.
Wow, yeah, that's how I guess you're kind of like you said, that is your thing, just around the water. Because I don't know if I don't know if any regular person would go swimming in December, but it's just like I guess it's in your personality, it's just like it's in my personality, like spicy food, I guess,
Right, 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 right,
it's like
right.
somehow just growing up, it
Yeah.
became part of you.
I never tried to swim in Coney Island though.
Oh yeah, that's another funny
Yeah.
thing. Even here you're surrounded by water. You're either on
Right.
Manhattan Island or
Yeah. Hudson River.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, Coney Island, that's another thing too. It's not like, what do you call it? Even though it's not like the mountains or anything like that, it's still a place where you just want to go, like you were mentioning before, because of like the magic that has happened there. Like the
Right.
history, and then
Right.
it's been in movies. There's like, it's a famous place. Just
Yeah.
and you just want to go, even as a New Yorker who lives here and can go
Yeah.
whenever. It's still like it's still a unique place, because of that same
Right.
reason. Like they're saying maybe magic. Do you feel like the same way about, because you say you live close downtown in Athens almost,
Yeah.
to like all the touristy things? Do you feel the same way, or are you like, I'm tired of this?
Mm, yeah. I don't find it interesting anymore. Like I just go. Sometimes I bask. I play with a trio.
Oh, okay.
The fancy places, where the tourists walk by and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, exactly.
But I find more, I don't know, more. I'm interested in Washington Square Park, for instance,
Oh yeah,
where
okay.
all the back in what was it, in the 90s and in the
Right.
late
Yeah.
80s, when they used to do the freestyles and everything.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, for me, going, chilling at Washington Square Park is way more, I don't know. Of
Yeah. There's
course,
there's a lot more to experience. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
right. I just find it more personal to me. It's not like I read Plato or
Oh yeah.
Socrates or something.
All right.
Even though they're great.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, you would think like, I don't know, you grew up with that.
Right. I mean, it's like I admire more Marvin Gaye than a Greek singer.
Ah,
It's kind of
gotcha.
like that.
Right,
I
right.
I I like the culture a lot. It's not like I just want to play the notes, you know. It feels good to just experience the culture that, you know, they play the music. It's not my music. I just respect the music, and I try to do it as good as I can,
Nice.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's very well put. Even for people listening that are not necessarily musicians, like you said, it's the part of the culture, and it's more than just playing the music. That is the culture, you know. It's like we are only the half of the culture. The other half is the people consuming it, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and if we can like make them feel, basically, is what we're
Oh
trying
yeah,
to
for
do, right?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also this reminds me of the late great pianist Harold Mayburn,
Uh-huh.
he passed maybe 2 years ago, or even 1 year ago.
Right.
I saw him many times in New York City, and actually we took the L train back
Okay.
home together. He left. He lived even further than I did.
Oh wow. Okay.
85-year-old huge guy
Yeah,
in
it's like
the train, man. Beautiful person anyway. So he used to teach at William Patterson University, and he used to tell his students, play for the people, don't play for the cats.
All right.
The cats are us, you and
Yeah,
me.
right.
The
Yeah,
people is our grandma, and you know.
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So I guess I try to deal music this way as much as I can, because okay, we always want to play this fancy bullshit we practiced, or
Right.
or put this, I don't know, what is a good hip hop example, like put this fast DJ quick line,
Oh,
very
okay, right.
impressive, you know. I guess the bottom line is we don't need to impress, we just want to make things beautiful, you know.
Yeah, that's perfectly put. As like I have
I
to write
guess.
that down.
Right, but I do love DJ Quick though. You know, don't get me
Oh
wrong.
hell yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's big for a reason. Because
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, because it's probably a mix of both things that you said. You know, like he can make this complicated, rhymes, but at the same time, he makes people feel. Yeah, you know, he
Yeah,
gives he
he's
gives
very
people the
soulful,
emotion.
man.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
soulful. And I think he was a sound engineer before he became an accomplished MC. You know, and everything.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean I don't call myself an MC, but I feel like at least for me, that's probably for you too, because since you do so many different things, it's like you first start out as I guess one thing, and
Mm.
then you get surrounded enough by like something else that you're like, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can try that.
Right.
It's probably what he did. It's probably what you did.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, so what was the first thing before we go? I just one last thing. What was like the order of like the things you started doing? Because what was it, like guitar? Was that the first thing you picked up?
Guitar. Yeah, because in my early teens, I was very passionate about rock music.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I used to listen to the Beatles and Michael Jackson as a very young, like when I was 8 and 9 years old.
Right.
The Beatles were my favorite band, and then Michael Jackson. But I would only listen to them, just the
Okay.
Beatles and Michael Jackson, nothing else.
Yeah.
And several years later, I started listening to rock music, and I picked up the guitar as soon as I heard AC/DC. Man,
Oh,
it
okay.
was life changing for me. To this day, I have all the albums. I
Nice.
remember all the songs. So I was a rock guitar player, and then I had to get some kind of formal training to make a living out of music. And the only course in guitar performance in Greece was jazz oriented. So by the time I was 17 years old, I was already listening to jazz music a little bit, very classic albums. And I was experimenting with Django Reinhardt and the swing gypsy swing
Oh, okay.
scene. And after that, I fell in love with African American music, and I, started listening to George Benson and Wes Montgomery, Grant
Nice.
Green.
Yeah.
So I've been a jazz guitarist. I mean, I've been a guitarist for the most of my life, and the most of this part has been jazz music. And then, I was born in 1991. I remember the tracks Dr. Dre did for Eminem,
Right.
and I remember What's My Name, Snoop Dogg. I
Right.
remember that
Yeah.
early 90s stuff. They were, they played them in MTV. And then I realized that I'm very familiar with Quincy Jones because I listened to all this Michael Jackson. And then
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
realized that the chain is so long that Quincy Jones and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg is very, it's tied to
Yeah.
Louis Armstrong and all the, Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie, and even before these guys. I think it's all one to me. This music. It's black music, man. It's all beautiful.
Right. Yeah. That's true. And it
I
all
mean,
goes,
it,
like you said,
of
it's all
course,
connected. Yeah. It's all connected. It all
exactly.
goes back.
I mean, I think you're a little bit younger than me, but we're same age,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
or less,
Exactly.
no?
Because like what you said. Basically the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, I still remember exactly Eminem and Dr. Dre, and then it's funny. You mentioned like how you're into rock first. Uh, but as far as I know, like the musicians and like what was some of the bands like the Doors or Led Zeppelin, like they
Right.
were jazz musicians, like they were trained with
Oh yeah.
jazz. Yeah, so which is like it's kind of cool that you ended up like I guess having to take
Right.
jazz courses.
Right.
Yeah,
But I
because
realized it's the blues.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What's common between Led Zeppelin and Dr. Dre and Herbie Hancock? The
Right.
blues.
Right. Yeah.
It's the blues.
Yeah. I always try to remind people that because it's that
Right.
simple, believe it or not.
Right.
It all goes back to the blues, man.
Right.
Yeah, which
So
is
like last year I put a cover band together, like a function band, for weddings and stuff like that.
okay.
And we were putting songs down, like what we wanted our repertoire to look like. And then I realized there's one guy all over our playlist, like 150 songs. He was in half of them. Nile Rodgers,
Oh yeah.
guitarist of Chic, man. And I
Yeah.
was like, what has this guy been doing? I mean, he did everything. He did,
Oh yeah.
like Madonna, and he did David Bowie, and he did Daft Punk, Pharrell Williams.
You're right.
Man.
Exactly.
And then I got into him, and I was listening to all these guitar parts he put down. I was
Right.
like, okay, this looks very easy for me to play, and it's not like it's very hard to play like Nile Rodgers. But I was like, this feels like home. And then I went into listening to his interviews and stuff. And this guy is a jazz guitarist.
Yeah.
He
Of
started
course,
from
right.
bebop and everything. And he says in the interview that he talked with David Bowie about Ornette Coleman and all that, free jazz stuff and
Right.
all
Right.
this super hard shit, man. And then I thought, okay, this guy is we should be taught from what Nile Rodgers did, because he went from $70 a gig, like it's like 70 million net worth or something, man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. But
But
yeah.
with beautiful music, beautiful music.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. As long as I think people, even if you're not a musician, you definitely have to like have that mindset, like respect everything that came before you, because thanks
Right.
to that, you're doing what you're doing right now.
Right.
Yeah, it's great, man. Hey, listen, I wish we could just keep going forever, because we clearly
Right.
can.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we clearly can. Especially since it's been a couple years, since
yeah.
we've done the hang. And which, by the way, everybody, this is one of the main reasons why I called it the hang, because he always used to tell me to do the hang with you.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, that sounds catchy. That sounds catchy. Let's
Oh,
do
yeah,
the
yeah.
hang every time.
Man, the hang never stops, man.
Yeah, that's true. Even if it's on the other side of the world, or you know, just a little room, just trying to come up with ideas. That's what I like to, you know, consider this. Like we're just hanging out, we're just talking about what we usually talk about.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you know,
for
it's
sure.
always
Yeah,
fun stuff. It's always fun times, man.
definitely.
Yeah. Anything else that I missed that I might have about you? I don't think so, man. I don't know. You let
No,
me
I
know.
mean it's all good, man.
Yeah, we'll
It's all
definitely try
good.
to. We'll. I don't know. I don't know who we have to talk to try to get you back here one day, or at least
Oh
one
man,
week, man.
it's yeah. I mean it's an expensive trip, but I'll try and make it
Yeah, man.
sometime.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
know.
getting busy here, you know. Once
That's
I can start saying no to gigs, I'll take a trip to New York City and I come
right. Yeah,
crash at your couch or something, you know.
it's all it is all a process. I mean, I understand, especially if you're not like from the country, how
Right.
difficult they make it for you just to be here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, you know, Niles Rogers, he had to, you know, I don't know how many years he had to take those little gigs, and then you
Right.
know, look at him now, he's everywhere.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
you know, it's yeah, like I said, it's all a process. Eventually, we'll definitely and if not, I have to go out there, man, because
Right.
I have to go see the Mediterranean, and you know, it is,
Right.
even though most of my roots are in Mexico, there's still some roots over there, you know.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean, maybe one thing we missed is that I'm actually gonna have to talk to you in private
okay, no
about
problem.
this because I've been the past year I've been starting to work for music libraries,
Oh,
and at the
okay.
time I'm working with a person in LA, and some of my music is being played in films.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So one day maybe I can afford to stop taking these little gigs
All
and
right.
travel to New York. But I might need you, to work together remotely, man.
All right.
We
Yeah,
can
yeah.
do some stuff
We'll talk about it. We'll talk it after this.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, I'm just trying to think of something else that the listeners might have missed about you. I mean, I'll put all your links. You know, definitely go follow Mr.
Great.
K. Keep up with his music. You know, pretty sure he has more. You know, in that brain of his. Because yeah, I feel like it always flows out. It's just whether or not he likes it enough to share it. Yeah. But thanks a lot, brother. I mean,
Man, thank you.
it's always fun talking to you, and I hope we can do this in
Right.
person soon enough, man.
Man, anytime, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks
I had
for
to go, man.
yeah, great. Thanks for doing the hang, and thanks for the thanks for the idea, even though you didn't know.
Right.
I have to give you some credit.
Oh yeah, no worries, man. Anytime.
And listeners, thanks for listening. Thanks for being part of our first virtual hang. We'll have more like this. But until next time, peace and thanks. Take care. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, man. Happy New Year.
All right, so thanks once again for listening, and thanks to Mr. K for calling in. How do I call it? Calling in like it's a radio show. For just doing this with me, and we'll have more work coming your way soon. Yeah. So about the giveaway, I really am serious about this. It is the time to give, and I say that because it's my birthday month, and that's New Year's and Christmas for me, in my opinion. Not because I get stuff, but because I feel good about myself. Actually, historically, this has been the worst month for me, especially when it comes to school. Cause I don't know, maybe subconsciously I just slack off and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, And I used to get my worst grades in February. But who gives a fuck about grades now, right? Anyways, so the way to get to enter the giveaway, it's very simple. You're gonna get your choice of whatever merch we have up on the Hang. Well, it's technically not the Hang website. It's davidvmusic.com, and go to the shop tab, and you will see all the Hang merchandise, and you'll get to pick whatever you want from there. But yeah, the way to enter it's very simple. Just write a comment on either the YouTube page. Remember, it's on JXD Entertainment YouTube page where we put it out now, or on the Hang on the comments from the streaming services, like Spotify, Apple Music. That's the only two I really know. That's the only two I use, but I know like Google has one, and Stitcher, and there's a handful of other ones, Amazon, but I personally use Apple and sometimes Spotify. So yeah, go just simply write a comment, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Write a comment. I don't even care if you talk shit. Just that's it. That's all you have to do, and then we'll do the drawing sometime next month. Until then, thank you very much once again for coming back and listening. And remember to if you really want to help us out, just spread the word. That's actually, believe it or not, the biggest thing you can do. I mean, you could just donate money to, but spreading the word will definitely, in my opinion, is better than that. Instead of just throwing your money at me like I'm some type of stripper, All right, that's enough for me. Thanks, guys, and stay tuned till next time.